welcome back to part 2 of my 10 tips for managing my PCOS naturally. If you missed last week's video, make sure you go check it out and get my first 5 tips. If you are new to my channel, I have been working for the past year to naturally manage my PCOS, reversing my symptoms without any medication. I've been using diet and lifestyle modifications. I've lost 25 pounds. I feel better than I have in years. My acne has gone away. My joint pain is gone. So I thought it would be helpful to share these 10 tips that I've been utilizing so that you can see if maybe some of them are right for you. As always, this is supposed to be educational in nature, should not be taken as medical advice. So my first tip of the day is actually tip number 6. I did 5 last week, so this is tip number 6, and that is to research what supplements might be right for you. My last video, or 2 videos ago, I did an entire video on what supplements I am taking to help manage my PCOS, so you can always check that out if you want to get some information about what are some of the common supplements that people take with PCOS, what are the issues that they are addressing. I go into a lot of detail in that video. Most of my information I got from my favorite book ever. It's called PCOS SOS by Dr. Felice Gersh. She gives a lot of information about what supplements she recommends for her patients with PCOS, the doses, certain brands that she recommends, and what are the root causes that they are addressing. But as always, these are supplements. They should be used to supplement a healthy diet and lifestyle. So you cannot rely on these supplements to help reverse your symptoms. They should only be used as an adjunctive therapy to your PCOS regimen. So just because you're taking a whole bunch of supplements, that should not be your primary focus. Your primary focus should be working on diet and lifestyle modifications that are going to help reverse your symptoms, but supplements sure as heck can help. They definitely have helped me, especially inositol. That is like the #1 supplement for people with PCOS, and I seriously can't live without it. I take it twice a day, every day, religiously, and that has helped my PCOS symptoms more than I can even describe. So check out that video for more information on supplements, but that is definitely something you should look into if you want to reverse your PCOS symptoms. Tip number 7 has to do with our cortisol levels. Women with cortisol levels, or women with PCOS tend to have elevated cortisol levels. So tip number 7 is to find a way to de-stress. I know it sounds trite and it is easier said than done, but it is so important if you have PCOS to figure out a way to manage your stress, reduce your stress, so that you can lower those cortisol levels, because it is very taxing on your adrenal glands. So we do not want our body to be in a sense of fight or flight at all times, which is what this elevated cortisol is. We want our bodies to be able to relax, and so that we're not in this sense of urgency. So how can we manage our stress? It looks different for everyone, unfortunately. What I do is I really enjoy taking long walks outdoors. That really helps me to manage my stress, but I know that it is going to be different for everyone. For other people, it might be meditating. Even 10 minutes a day of meditating can have tremendous benefit. It might be journaling for others, talking to a friend, talking to a therapist is always a good idea if that is something that you think that you need. Yoga. So just find a way for you to manage your stress. Sometimes it even means cutting out toxic people in your life, getting yourself out of toxic situations, whatever you need to do to manage your stress. It is so important if you have PCOS. It is really going to affect your health long term if you are always stressed out. So find something that you can do for a few minutes, 10, 15 minutes every day to de-stress, and it is really going to help your health long term, I promise. Tip number 8 goes right along with that, and that is to make sleep a priority. Again, I know this is easier said than done, especially if you're in my age group, that 20s to 30s, where we possibly have young children at home who are definitely keeping us from getting quality sleep. But again, I've done a whole video on this, on why our sleep can be so dysregulated with PCOS, and it again has a lot to do with our cortisol levels. there is definitely an imbalance of our cortisol and our melatonin levels, which regulate our sleep-wake cycle. So this is why people with PCOS tend to be so groggy in the morning. It's because our cortisol level isn't quite as high in the morning as it should be. And then at night, we have this like tired but wired feeling because our cortisol levels are too high at night. So we can't produce melatonin that helps us drift off to a peaceful and restful night's sleep. So again, I did a whole video on how you can actually improve your sleep with PCOS. So I definitely think that you should go check that video out if you have these sort of feelings. I, literally for years, felt like this. No matter how many hours of sleep I got, even after my kids were sleeping through the night, I could sleep for 9 hours and I would still wake up in the morning and not feel rested. That is a problem. That was definitely my cortisol dysregulation. And once I took like seriously just a few simple steps to correct it, I wake up every morning feeling rested, and it is so refreshing to feel like that for the first time in like a decade. So I definitely suggest, please check out that video. I swear it's life-changing, but definitely making sleep a priority, taking steps to improve your quality of sleep. It's not just about the number of hours you're getting. If you're not getting quality sleep, then it doesn't matter. So check out that video for more tips. But again, you have to prioritize your sleep. Tip number 9 is to do the right kind of exercises that are going to help your PCOS symptoms. So my entire life, everything that I've read about is cardio is what you need to do for weight loss. And believe me, I tried. I've done kickboxing, I have done running, I have done boot camp classes, I have done Zumba classes, I've done all sorts of cardio classes, and I just continued to gain and gain and gain weight year after year. It didn't matter what I did. I was gaining like 5 pounds every year from my 20s to my 30s. So cardio was not the answer for weight loss for me. And this past year, I finally figured out why. Again, it goes back to that issue with PCOS women. We have elevated cortisol. We have that fight or flight response that is just going strong in our bodies. And then when we're doing these high impact cardio workouts, we are only fueling that fire. We are raising that cortisol level, and that is not going to help our body lose weight. In fact, our body is going to want to keep that weight on because of that sense of stress. Our body thinks that it's going to need that extra weight for fuel because we are under a lot of stress. So what we can do instead is focus more on resistance training, weightlifting, weight training, and we really want to focus on gaining lean muscle. Lean muscle is going to help raise our metabolism. It is awesome for reversing insulin resistance. You are not going to become a bulky weightlifter. Trust me, you have to really work hard to get that big, bulky look if you want that. So lifting weights is not going to make you bulky like that, but it is really going to help reverse your PCOS symptoms because again, it is so good for your metabolism and it is so good for reversing insulin resistance. That's not saying you can't incorporate a little bit of cardio if you want to. Just try to keep your heart rate at a steady state. Try to limit it to about 30 minutes. Not raise your heart rate too high so that you're not taxing and stressing your body too much. So you can definitely still incorporate it. I like to do a little bit of dance conditioning here or there because I really find it enjoyable. Again, like I mentioned before, I like to take really long walks, like 1 hour plus walks. And that is, you know, gets my heart rate up a little bit. Great exercise, also helps me de-stress. So that's what I do, a combination of weightlifting, you know, mild to moderate bits of cardio here and there. But again, my primary sole exercise that I do is not like a high impact cardio that is really spiking my heart rate. And I have been losing weight over this past year doing this modified exercise regimen. So it is possible to lose weight without just doing a ton of cardio. Okay, tip number 10, my last tip of this video is to reduce the endocrine disruptors that you are exposed to. So what are endocrine disruptors? They are chemicals that we are exposed to every single day, hundreds of them every single day, that can wreak havoc on our hormones. A lot of these chemicals that we are exposed to can actually mimic the role of estrogen. They work on our estrogen receptors, and this can further contribute to what is known as estrogen dominance, which is already a problem in women with PCOS. We tend to have an imbalance of our estrogen to progesterone ratios. So having these chemicals that we're exposed to on a daily basis mimic the function of estrogen is only going to make that imbalance worse. And this is not just a problem for women with PCOS. This is a problem for everyone, and even men as well. These endocrine disruptors that can mimic estrogen can also create an imbalance of the estrogen testosterone ratio in men. So this is not just a problem that women with PCOS need to work on. This is a problem that we need to work on as a society, and we need to have companies focus on making cleaner products that are less toxic to our bodies. So what have I done to reduce the endocrine disruptors in my own home? This is a process. I mean, this is not something that is going to take a week, a month, or even a year. This is something that's going to take like forever to accomplish, and you're never going to completely live a 100% chemical-free, non-toxic lifestyle. I mean, maybe if you're like living in the mountains, growing your own food, possibly, but that is not the kind of lifestyle that I want to live. So it's all about reducing what you can so that your body can handle it. So what I have done is I have switched out a lot of the products in my home for less toxic versions or non-toxic versions. Using the EWG website has been extremely helpful. It was eye-opening just going on that website for the first time, plugging in the name of everyday products that I use and seeing their rating from A to F, what they rate them on their toxicity level. And a lot of the products that I was using are D and an F, meaning they are super toxic and harmful, potentially harmful to my health and the health of my family. So as things have run out, instead of buying the same old things, I go on the EWG website and try to find less toxic or non-toxic versions that I can purchase. So far I've switched out all of the hand soaps in my house. As they ran out, I bought non-toxic hand soaps, and that was something super easy that I was able to do. I've also switched out my laundry detergent for a non-toxic version as well. Again, something really easy to do. As you run out of your laundry detergent, you just buy one that is non-toxic. Even buying one that is fragrance-free is going to make a huge difference. And those are really easy to find pretty much anywhere, fragrance-free or ones for sensitive skin. Also buying some non-toxic makeup. As I run out of my makeup, I have been buying items from Beauty Counter. That is a EWG certified company that makes clean beauty products that are non-toxic. So just little things like that. Also, the food that I'm buying, I've been trying to incorporate more organic food into my diet. I again use the EWG's Dirty Dozen. That is a list of the 12 produce items that tend to have the highest level of pesticides in them. So if you're gonna buy anything organic, then I try to buy organic of the Dirty Dozen. The other stuff I buy conventional because the level of pesticides are far lower on those items. But the Dirty Dozen, I have been trying to buy organic, and I have been trying to buy mostly organic meats as well. So those are just a few of the things that you can do to get started to reducing endocrine disruptors in your home and for your family. And it's not just going to benefit you with PCOS, it's going to benefit your whole family making these little simple swaps. So I hope that you found this video helpful. If you have any tips that you've been using to reverse your PCOS symptoms and improve your health, leave them in the comments below so that everyone can learn from you. And if you want, give this video a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye.